What's going on, y'all? It is Cop Pizzle. You know who's doing a really great job, or at least I think he's doing a great job? Joe Schoen, general manager for the New York Football Giants. I have been, this offseason, really enjoying the things that Joe Schoen has brought to this team. And, you know, this painting, if you will, that he has painted on his canvas of how this team should look like. I don't think for a minute that it's completely exactly the way he wants it to be, but I really have enjoyed some of the moves that he has made, and I wanted to really focus on the draft picks in this particular video because I feel like the draft class is going to be very vital to the Giants' 2023 success. Now, look, I was not as critical on Dave Gettleman as many others were. I felt like Dave Gettleman took a lot of heat, unnecessary heat at times. For all the things that you could pinpoint that he did bad, I could pinpoint that he did good. And in a lot of ways, Dave Gettleman has actually been vindicated when you look at the fact that Daniel Jones has got a contract. Andrew Thomas clearly was the right tackle to pick. He's got a contract. Dexter Lawrence, that move was the right thing. He got a contract. The Saquon Barkley thing is more about because of the running back position, but Saquon obviously got a year-long deal. You know, Darius Slayton was brought back. There's a lot of guys that even Joe Schoen has put his stamp of approval that Dave Gettleman brought in, right? Not to make this about Dave Gettleman, but at the end of the day, I think we all know that the reason why Dave Gettleman failed with the Giants was because he just simply did not get the coach right. And the biggest swing and miss was Joe Judge. Whereas Brian Dable has just been an absolute great get for Joe Schoen. But looking back at this particular draft class, I wanted to talk about it a little bit and pinpoint some things I feel like what Joe Schoen did and what I really like what he did. So obviously he got Deonte Banks out of Maryland in the first round. In my opinion, that's going to be a starter. And the biggest thing about Banks is he is, to me, a quintessential Martindale type of pick, type of cornerback. Physical, probably at times, I think as the season goes on, obviously assuming that he and these other guys stay healthy, I think at times Banks is going to have to go through some growing pains because the Giants are going to throw him right into the fire. And look, the division has some really good receivers. Let's face it. Let's be honest about it. So I think at times we are going to be frustrated with Banks, but I think at times with his physical type of play, I think we're going to be excited about Banks. And so as much as we would love for him to be really good this year, it's not so much about this year. It's about even next year and the year after that. So, the Giants over the years have not been hitting on their cornerbacks very early in the draft. We've obviously had some issues with that with Eli Apple and Baker. And so there's been some issues, right? So hopefully Banks can kind of, I don't want to say we're cursed, but hopefully he can kind of break that curse for us. But I think he's going to be a guy that's going to fit Martindale's system to a T. John Michael Schmitz, who we drafted at center out of Minnesota, I'm going to be honest, that was one of the best pickups of the night, in my opinion, when the draft, considering the fact that he could have went in the late first round, and Joe Schoen and the company is able to pick him up, and which, by the way, just like Banks, he's going to be a starter and be probably a week one starter for the Giants right at center. And the way he plays, I actually think he was the best center in the draft. And, I think the Giants are going to have potentially some issues at guard play. We really don't know for sure what type of guard play we're going to get, but I think we feel good about our left tackle. I think we're optimistic about our right tackle and Evan Neal, but I think the center position is going to be well taken care of at least for the next 10 to 12 years, thanks to JMS. So hopefully he can stay healthy. it would be really exciting to have, and then that's something that Joe Schoen has. Obviously, Andrew Thomas was a Dave Gettleman pick, but he's brought him back. But you can see Schoen has really attacked this offensive line, and hopefully we get really good guard play, because if we do, I think our offensive line will be good, and Daniel can really do big things behind them. In the third round, he went out and got Jalen Hyatt. If there was a guy who I wish I was doing a live draft stream when he was drafted, it was when Hyatt got picked. For those that know, I am I'm born and raised in Tennessee. I've been a Giants fan for over 30 plus years here. But on Saturdays, I watch the Tennessee Vols, and I don't have that love affair with them like I do the Giants. I kind of keep that reserved only for the Giants. But I watch the Volunteers, and at numerous times last year, I would watch Tennessee play, and I would watch Jalen Hyatt, and I was always like, man, I wish the Giants had a guy like him. And I've always been I've always loved when Volunteers played for the Giants. One of my favorites several years ago was Darrell Wilson, who was a safety during our Super Bowl run in 2008. I thought he was a really good player for us. So it's always exciting for me when Tennessee Volunteers play for the New York Giants. And I'll just tell you right now, if you follow this channel, I will be a huge Hyatt supporter. I think he has all of the tools. Listen to me. I believe he has all of the tools to make every person who still has the OBJ sickness go away. He will make you, in my opinion, forget about OBJ. I think he is going to be a sensational player for the Giants. I think he's exactly what we needed. He's going to take the top off the defense. He's going to make big plays. I can only hope he will stay healthy and he will be electric. I think Giant fans already in training camp are starting to fall in love with him, but once the season starts and once the games get played, I believe Giant fans will absolutely adore Jalen Hyatt. I cannot wait to watch him play. I can't wait to talk, use some of that as content, and I'm really excited about watching Jalen Hyatt play, to be honest with you. In the fifth round, they picked up Eric Gray, who also played at Tennessee. He ended his college career at Oklahoma. In my opinion, I think he's going to be exactly what the Giants hope he's going to be, which is a poor man's version of Saquon Barkley, and someone who can spell Saquon Barkley throughout the season, take some of the workload off of Saquon. He can do a lot of the things that Saquon does. Now, is Saquon probably a better athlete? Absolutely. But Eric Gray, I'm telling you, is going to hold his own and be a great option for this offense when Saquon Barkley needs a blow. I'm telling you, Eric Gray out of Memphis. I have known about Eric Gray for quite some time, and I actually thought he was going to have a better college career than he did. But I think he's going to be great for us. I really do. I think he's going to, is he going to be a star running back? I mean, we'll see. But I think he's going to contribute in 2023. But when you look at the first three draft picks, those three guys, I think they're going to, by midway through the season, for sure, all of them are going to be starters. Eric Gray probably won't be a starter unless Saquon gets hurt, but he's still going to contribute. So Joe Schoen really, just in those first four picks, really did some really good work, considering the fact that if you can get some good play out of your rookie class, the team's going to be better for it if they bring quality play. Excuse me. Then in the sixth round, they went out and got Trey Hawkins, who obviously has been lighting up training camp. I'm on the wait and see with Hawkins because, in college, he was sticky as hell. But, when it came to making a play or, at the point of contact kind of deal, he disappointed, right? So I think that he's going to be potentially a boom or bust type of player where, I don't know, you would think that he would be a type of, you look at his size, and there's no question that if you look at his college career, he's a great tackler. So that part is exciting. But will he be a playmaker to where he can be like a ball hawk? That we'll see. Obviously, he was drafted in the 6th round, and they're already getting what looks to be production out of a training camp. So I think it would be a pleasant surprise if Joe Schoen and company was able to get a starter in that position and someone that could really bolster up our secondary. I already think that our secondary has a chance to be somewhat good this year. I love Xavier McKinney's game, and there's pieces. What I like about it the most is how young it is. Like, you want your secondary players to be young, but also good. I don't really know what to think to make about Jordan Riley. I mean, we'll see what role he plays in it, but the Giants have they need that depth at the on the D line, but I don't think that you've got a starter there. Hopefully, somebody can make the team and bring some depth to the team. And then Javarius Owens from Houston is an athletic freak who will probably play a special teams role. So, which is obviously important, right? I mean, you got to play good special teams, and you got to have guys that go out there and make plays on the special teams. But when you look at the totality of this draft, and obviously there were some free agency moves. A lot of guys brought in the receiving room, which we can talk about that in a later date. But when you look at the draft in itself, you really got to like what Joe Schoen has brought to this team and the makeup and really the way he is, this painting, if you will, of this of what he's doing and bringing to the table. I like this draft class. And when you look at what's going on in training camp right now, the news coming out about Hyatt, about Hawkins, about JMS, when you hear the news about these guys, you can't help but get excited and know that Joe Schoen did a really, really nice job.